If your engine is blowing black smoke like a diesel truck, stop driving it. You're dumping raw fuel and you can wash down the cylinders pretty easily. But today I'll show you exactly how to diagnose it and fix a rich carburetor using a Holley 4150 and Edelbrock AVS style carburetor. Let's go. I did a video a few weeks ago talking about how to check and how to correct the symptoms of a carburetor that needs to be tuned. And in one of those comments that was left on that video, this person left this, and I thought, you know what? That's a pretty good idea. I'll cover that topic. Before we go down that rabbit hole, though, there is obviously some things that you need to consider in doing this. If you have an engine that's worn out, like the one that was in the GMC truck, well, when I bought it, yeah, you're not going to be able to look at smoke coming out of the exhaust and go, okay, yeah, that's bad. It's got to be carburetor. It's only carburetor. In this case, the engine is shot. It needed to be replaced. When you're trying to diagnose this issue of where that black smoke is coming from, why, what's causing it, keep it simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. Start with the easy stuff. Almost 100% of the time, it's going to find the problem for you is going to introduce itself or show itself pretty quickly. The other thing you have to consider is all the simple things. Ignition timing is absolutely very important here. If you don't have enough timing in that engine, it really doesn't matter what you do on the tuning side of things. It's going to be very complicated to narrow down those problems and isolate them. Make sure you've got enough timing in the engine. And I get that comment a lot where, you know, people ask, hey, what's the problem? And I'll always come back with, what's your fuel pressure at? What's your timing set at? And it's always, oh, they're good. Give me a number. Tell me what it is. Again, we've talked about this 1,000 times, it seems like, but if you're at 8 degrees before top dead center on this engine, it is not enough timing. I'm down here 200, 300 foot above sea level. I never remember what it is. But I always start with 12 to 14. Right now, the GMC truck has about 16 degrees of timing in it. That's where it likes to live. That's where it's happiest. It starts good, drives good. You've got to have enough timing in it. Make sure you get that right first. I just mentioned it a second ago, but fuel pressure is a huge one. Every single carburetor, and I don't care what type of pump you have, whether it's a mechanical, out-of-the-box, AC Delco, an Edelbrock pump like this one that supposedly is set from the factory at 6 PSI or 7 PSI, run a regulator. That way you know exactly what's going to the carburetor. You can control the flow to it. You're the one that says, I need to dial this back or make sure we're got enough pressure and flow. Add a regulator, it's going to help you out. So if you don't have the fuel system basics set up right, can't really help you. So get all that stuff correct first. Put a pressure regulator on, make sure you got good filters, timing set properly. Then you can start figuring out what's going on with a carburetor that's blowing black smoke out the back. So now that we got all that out of the way, and it's important, you can't skip it, you can't blow past it and expect you're going to get anything done. What is black smoke coming out of the exhaust? Well, on a healthy engine like this one, black smoke is typically unburned fuel that is making it past the engine, out the exhaust, and spit out the back. It's an over-rich fuel and air mixture is all it is. It's fuel that's not fully burning. Why is that a problem? Well, plenty of reasons. The biggest one really is just the performance of the engine. If you're over-fueling it, you're not going to get the most power out of the engine no matter what you do. Easy thing to do here, and you need to learn how to read plugs. We've covered that in a separate video, how to look at how to read them, how to look at timing and heat range on plugs. I would highly suggest you take a look at those two videos. They are very, very important to understanding how to do it, and 99% of the folks don't seem to know how to actually read a spark plug. So check those videos out because it's going to be becoming very important here, because that way you can actually determine what's going on. But those conditions where you're blowing a ton of black smoke out of it, you'll be able to see it on the spark plug very easily. You'll also be able to look at timing on the spark plug very easily and tell exactly what's going on and how much fuel you need to take out of it. It'll certainly tell you on the ceramic exactly what's going on. The other thing that doesn't get talked about near enough is what happens to the engine oil. When you're diluting fuel into oil, what that does is it breaks down the additive package and all those cool properties that you loved about that oil that you bought, whether it's driven, whether it's Lucas, whatever your flavor is that you're running in the engine, fuel will break down that additive package. And not over a long period of time, over a relatively short period of time, when you're taking away all those lubrication properties out of the engine, well, you're going to start hurting things on the bottom side. Yeah, you're probably not going to see it right away. Maybe it'll grenade itself very quickly, but what you're doing is you're taking away the service life out of the engine. So running a really, really rich mixture that's diluting the oil is hurting the engine. So let's talk about this in 3 different phases. Let's talk about this at idle, let's talk about it at cruise RPM, and we'll talk about it wide open throttle. Now this is a 4150 style carburetor, so it's got power valves in it, and it makes a big difference as to how it's fueling. One thing you can easily check on the carbureted engine when it's sitting at idle is fire it up, let it get up to operating temperature, and watch the boosters. If you are dripping fuel out of the booster at idle, you've probably got a fuel pressure problem. Again, we talked about that with the regulator a minute ago. If your pressure's too high, it can push it out of there fairly quickly. If the floats are set too high and you've got way too much fuel in there, that could certainly be an indication that you're pushing too much fuel past what the capacity or past what the system can handle, and dialing the pressure back certainly can help, and the level of the fuel. Again, on a 4150 style carburetor, it's fairly easy. We've got sight glasses on here. We've got externally adjustable needle in seats, but make sure the needle in seats are good. Make sure there's not blockage in there. It's not got garbage in there that's, blocking the thing and holding it open and overflowing or overfueling the bowls and pushing it out the carburetor. It's got to go somewhere, and most of the time it will go right down into the engine and then out the back of the tailpipe into black smoke. On the 4150 style carburetor, we've talked about power valves quite a bit, done a video on how to tune these, but certainly this is an area where you can get in trouble. Now, most of the modern 4150 style carburetors, and I say modern, I think it was the late 90s maybe, it could have been earlier than that, mid-90s, somewhere in there. Holley and everyone else started putting a check valve in the base plate of the carburetor, so if the engine backfired, it didn't blow out and burst the power valve. Not that it can't happen, but it's not near as common as it used to be. But check that. If you're not sure if the power valve's blown out and that diaphragm in there is ruptured, power valves are cheap. Just change it. See if that cured the condition. The other side of it is the tuning. If you don't have the right size power valve in there, it's opening too soon. Typically you'll see that at cruise. You don't see it really mostly at idle, but certainly at cruise RPM you can do that if it's overfueling it when it doesn't need it, based on the vacuum rating of the valve. So if you've got something in there that's not quite right, it's opening too soon, yeah, it can dump it. Can it happen at idle? Yeah, it's very uncommon. I think you're going to see that more again at cruise and wide open throttle if you're just overfueling it. When you talk about an Edelbrock carburetor, a little bit different. We don't have the power valve to contend with, but we have all this exact same things. If you overpressurize the fueling and the flow that's coming in there, you will see it push out the boosters. Same in the Holley is that in that aspect as well. Fuel can puddle in the secondary side of things. There's little chambers down in there that you can see when you pop the air horn assembly off. If it's got fuel in there, well, it's probably overpressurized, pushing too much fuel. The other side of that's the step-up springs. If you have the step-up spring incorrectly tuned for the engine, then yes, it can cause that problem. Again, that one can show its ugly head more on the Edelbrock at idle, but that one's more at the cruising RPM. If the step-up spring isn't tuned with the vacuum on the engine, it can open way too soon. Again, same as a power valve, overfuel the thing, and now you're dumping raw fuel into an engine that just doesn't need it. You're totally taking that system out of context. So it's just a tuning side of things on that. But it certainly is one to look at. Float level on an Edelbrock style carburetor is the exact same problem that you can have on a 4150 style carburetor. If the floats are set incorrectly and the fuel level is way too high, yes, it can roll out of the bowls, roll right into the main body and out the engine or down into the engine and out the exhaust, and yeah, you're running into those same problems. So getting the float set correctly, very, very important. We've covered all of these topics in past videos, so if you have any questions on setting any of these things, just refer back to the Holly or the Edelbrock playlist, and it'll show you exactly how to take care of all these things. Incorrect choke adjustment at idle can cause that as well too. If it is way too rich on the adjustment, remember you can dial in on the choke here how rich or how lean it is by how far open that the throttle plate or the choke plate is open here on top. Again, if you are way too rich, it can certainly blow black smoke at idle. Electric choke, that's a very common one because for whatever reason that one gets people a little stuck on how to adjust it. But again, we've done a video on how to adjust that and how to tune it a little bit, and once you get it dialed in, you'll be good to go. We'll get now into the tuning side of things, and again, this is the same on both, but you do have to contend with something a little bit different on the Edelbrock style carburetor because you've got jets and metering rods along with the step-up springs that control it to contend with. On a 4150 or Holly style carburetor, you've got the jets to worry about, and certainly this is more into the tuning side of things. If you are way too rich on the main jet or the secondary jet, depending on what type of carburetor you're working on that 4150 style or a 4160 style carburetor, overjetting it can certainly cause a very, very rich condition. Mostly at cruise, you're not going to see a lot of that at idle. Those things that happen at idle, you know, as the fueling pushes through there, is typically something else. It's usually never the jetting, but you'd have to remember on the Edelbrock carburetor that the idle fueling goes through the main jet, pushes up through the booster, and then down into the channel that takes it to and spits it out into the Venturi. So it doesn't really occur that often, but I wouldn't be overly concerned with it. But if you had no jet in there or no metering rod in there and it was trying to flow fully, yeah, it can happen. But for the most part, it's not really a big deal. Jetting certainly gets you into that area, though, where cruise RPM and wide open throttle, again, if you're not tuning with an AFR, if you're not monitoring the engine with an AFR, you just need to get really good at reading plugs. Now, again, the correct way to do it, if you're not used to doing it at all, is to cut the plug open. That way you can physically look and see where the line is on the porcelain, and then you can make a determination of how rich it is and how much fuel you need to take out of it and at where you need to be taking it out of it, whether it's, you know, more at the wide open throttle side of things, at idle, cruise, whatever the case may be. Folks love to overjet things. They also love to put too big of a CFM on an engine. We've talked about that in a couple of videos where we showed you on an AFR what actually occurs when you have too big of a carburetor on an application. But can it really foul you up on fueling with blowing black smoke out? You bet your bottom dollar it can. So make sure that you get the right size carburetor on there. If you get stuck on that, call a carburetor manufacturer. Call, you know, ATM or Holly or Braswell or somebody to help you figure out what size carburetor you need on an application. If you think you've overcarbureted because you listened to your buddy on the internet and he said a 750, you know, double pumper would be great on your little 305 engine, yeah, probably not. So it's just part of the process, making sure that you've got the right size CFM on there. If you've played or monkeyed around with any of the emulsions on the, on an adjustable metering block or the air bleeds on a carburetor and you don't know exactly what you're doing, absolutely that can cause some very lean conditions. It can also cause some very, very overfueling conditions, so be very careful with that. It's a subject that I've been neglected to cover yet because I don't want to get anybody in trouble with an engine, and certainly don't want to wash the cylinders down with too much fuel, because you can make very complicated, very bad decisions very quickly on that. So if you're monkeying with those and you're not quite sure what you're doing, put it back to the factory settings, concentrate on jets, power valves, and metering rods, and step-up springs and power valves if you're not quite sure. Accelerator pumps on a 4150, 4160, and an Edelbrock style carburetor. Again, not too much difficult there, but again, if you have these adjusted incorrectly, meaning that you don't have the pump adjusted correctly, that's always a very interesting one. A lot of times too, folks will end up changing the cams on a accelerator pump setup and think that, well, they I guess I need more fuel without reading spark plugs, without consulting an AFR, trying to figure it out, and they just try to change the cam. That can certainly cause it. That's more of a cruise to wide open throttle if you're initially dumping a large shot of fuel in there. Another one that's not uncommon, but it certainly is common, is I see that a lot of times where on a street carburetor, you don't need anything bigger than the 30cc pumps on a double pumper carburetor. Even on a 80457, 1850, 3310 vacuum secondary style carburetor, you do not need to put a 50cc pump shot on there. It's generally way too much fuel for a street car, unless you've got something really super aggressive. So if you've made that change on there, consider going back and keep tuning. It wasn't the issue that you were trying to correct in the first place. So accelerated pumps, while not common to screw things up, it certainly can cause a momentary shot of black smoke out the back. But again, when you're trying to figure all these things out, it's just keeping it simple. Work back through the process. When is it occurring? When's it happening? At what RPM? At how am I trying to operate? Is it at idle, cruise? Am I trying to go wide open throttle, rolling on the highway, whatever it is? And then that way you can kind of narrow it down to where you need to start to look at it. Another one here is one that for whatever reason is very popular on the 4150 style and 4160 style carburetor, is changing a nozzle size. Now again, the nozzle size does not add volume. It just changes the amount of time that that pump shot is delivered. The pump shot's always going to be 30 cc's on this style of pump. If it's 50cc pump, it's 50. It's actually a little bit less than that. We won't get into that now. If you change the nozzle or the squirter size, thinking I'm going to get a bigger shot of fuel and that's going to cure it, all you're doing is reducing the amount of time. The bigger the number on the nozzle, the quicker that shot from the accelerator pump is delivered to the engine. So again, it just goes back to basic tuning, that maybe you just got a little overzealous and aggressive with it and didn't quite figure out exactly where it was, what you were trying to do to tune through it. So if you change nozzles, it could be part of the problem. On the Edelbrock style, if the pump rod is in the wrong position, meaning you're putting too much fuel in there, that can absolutely cause a lot of black smoke. If the shot's too big, or you've modified it, you've changed the nozzle size to quicken up the dump of fuel in there, absolutely, those things all combined could cause a black smoke condition out the back. So there's a few things you can check when you're having that condition. But just remember, it's all about when. When is it happening? Is it happening at idle? Is it happening at cruise, wide open throttle? And then just keep it simple. Work back through the process and figure out what is happening in the fuel system at that time, carburetor, pump, regulator, all of those things together, and how is that delivering fuel at that time. You can just slowly start working through there, start checking things off the list of what could it possibly be, and how have I made adjustments that could facilitate that and make that bad, make it happen, and cause that condition to be spitting out all that black smoke out the back. The important thing here is, just like anything else in the tuning process, slow down, think about it, figure out exactly what's going on, know what's happening at the time, and then just start clicking back through things. And sometimes it's something that you're just going to have to make changes. If you're got a fuel system that's not running a pressure regulator, well, it's probably a good time to add it. If you're running into those flow issues and you're overpressurizing the system and you're sending too much fuel to the carburetor, absolutely it could be the problem. Like we've mentioned dozens and dozens of times here, if you've got too retarded a timing, you're just not going to give it enough time to burn that fuel and air mixture out of there. So again, timing is such a huge one. It needs to be mentioned every single time, dozens of times, just to let it sink in. Timing cures so many carburetor problems, it's not even funny. So if you're having a problem with black smoke at any time during the operation of the engine, and you can't figure out what's going on, you've tried a few things, leave a comment down below, list everything out, give me all the details, what your fuel pressure's at, what your ignition timing's at, not that it's good, give me a number. I need numbers when you're looking at all these things. really is important when you're trying to figure all this stuff out. And we can figure it out together, at least give you some ideas of what to check. So leave those comments down below. Thank you all for watching the video. I appreciate it, commenting and subscribing, and we will catch you guys on the next one. We'll see you.